Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Construction Simulator Wheels 24/7 here. And I thought I would get started in the game here at the tutorial right at the very beginning. So, having about 35 hours in the game, I thought I'd go back and replay the tutorial and kind of walk you through it and kind of go through what happens at the very beginning, kind of knowing what I know now as opposed to when I first launched the game. So, here we are having set up my controls, and I set up a profile specifically for the tutorial. When I'm done, I may go back to my actual original save game with about 35 hours in it. So for now, we're going to go ahead and get started with the tutorial and kind of do a video on this, or maybe break it into more than one depending on how long it goes. So first thing it wants us to do here, we start out, and what it said was a one-horse town, and we are going to walk over here and talk to Ape.
Good to see you again. Your active help is most welcome. I'm having a tough time keeping up with all the work. Do you know how many people around here are frustrated and thinking of moving away? If things keep going like that, this place could become a ghost town. To make matters worse, the water supply broke down this morning. It seems there's a crack in the pipeline. So if you want to help give people here another chance, let's fix the water line first. Get in your tractor and go to the local building supply store. You'll find a new pipe section there ready for pickup. Just follow the navigation to get there. In the meantime, I'll head to the pipeline and take a closer look at the damage.
Alrighty, Ape. Thank you, sir. We will go take care of getting the pipe. So anyway, I'm just going to kind of go through this fairly quickly. I'll try not to skip anything, but I may do things slightly different than what I might have done before, now having known more about how the game works. So we're going to take the Mac Anthem over here, and we are going to go to the building materials store. This is where I believe that it's telling us to go. And we will get the piece that we need and take it over. It's already on a trailer, so we're in good shape. Incidentally, as far as flatbed trailers go, this one is the biggest one here that we see. We're going to go ahead and couple up the trailer. Basically, when we pull up to it, we'll hit space and we'll make the connection. I am playing with mouse and keyboard. I have tried it with the controller. I'm just more comfortable with mouse and keyboard. But if you're used to using a controller, I've heard that it's very good. All right. So basically, you've got your information it's going to bring up to talk about tractors and semi-trailers and cargo and the different things that you can haul with different pieces of equipment that you can haul on the flatbeds. You just need to read through and look at all the icons and stuff like that to understand what it is that the actual thing can haul. The actual flatbed, when you go to buy it, will have the icons for different things that you can put on it. So that's something to remember there. I won't go through into all the detail on it. Remember, you do have a manual here somewhere. Under your profile, you have a manual that will go through and help you learn how to do all the different things in the game. So some of that stuff I may miss. I'm not going to go through all that in detail, but there is something you can look at there as far as that goes. I am going to confirm that my camera is in dynamic. It is not set for dynamic. Basically, this gives you the most control if this is turned off. And then also as far as gameplay, what we want to do is we don't want easy economy. We want normal economy. We're going to do miles per hour. Pedestrian density is low. Traffic density is on low. Obviously, you can turn that off too. And as far as traffic offenses, those are turned off. I don't find those something that appeals to me. So obviously you can then drive to the location. If you want to, you can hit M for your map and you can go up, select the icon, and you can actually fast travel to the location rather than driving over there. It's kind of up to you how you feel the best way you want to play it is. But park in the marked area, we should be fine. Okay, is it quite far enough up for us? Okay, there we go. So we have a cracked pipe that we're going to go ahead and correct here. And of course, the crane we're going to use to take care of it. So let's go ahead and jump in that next. Again, giving you more information about the mobile crane. Just going to pull up here like this. We have what's called the context menu, and you put it into work mode right here. It's going to put out the stabilization legs, and now the crane is ready to use. So I'm still not 100% super fast with all the controls. Bear with me a little bit. Also, when I started this tutorial profile, it did make me reset keys up again. And so I may have forgotten to change a couple of keys. Obviously, it's telling us how to do it, thereby telling us we can go to the manual and look at it. That's fine. Okay, when the little round part turns green, then you can grab it. Now, the thing is that the old pipe has to come off first. So I should have probably actually done that first, but that's fine. We'll just take it off the trailer. Set it on the ground. And go over and get the other piece. I think I did that backwards before too, but I guess it really doesn't matter because that thing's got to come off there before you can and go to the trailer anyway. So spin that around, slap it on the trailer, and we will be all set here. So basically, you just bring it over to the trailer. Once you get close enough to set it down, then it'll turn white on the trailer. You'll be able to lower it down and then hit your space bar to set it down. Put it in here like so, and we'll be done. Like that, you just got to get it close, and now we just need to take it back. Obviously, you've got an extended crane here, so if you'll go back to your context wheel and hit the arrow key that's in a circle, it'll reset it for you. Obviously, we can take it, put it back into drive mode as well. Okay, so now that's ready to go. And we'll basically jump back in here. Again, if you want to, you can drive to where it's telling you to go. Basically, if we want to fast travel, again, we have not discovered that, so we can't fast travel to there, so we are going to have to travel. I could have went near it, but that's fine. We'll go ahead and drive it. Obviously, you have first-person view as well, which we could use if we wanted to. I prefer the external view most of the time, but it's nice to have that. Incidentally, when you're walking around, you can put it in first person by doing the same thing. Now, I have remapped my keys, so a lot of the keys that you might see on my screen are not the defaults that you might see yourself. So we're bringing that back to this spot here, which is, I guess this is our home base. Building yard discovered. Right? So jump out and speak to Hape once more.
I'm relieved. Thanks to your quick action replacing that broken piece, the water supply is repaired and back on. Good job. Since we're finished here, maybe you could give me a hand with something else. Old Joe owns a rundown motel on the outskirts of town. I've been promising him for a while that I would do some renovations on the place. Be a good fella and drive the flatbed truck over there. I'll follow behind and tell you what needs to be done.
Okay, roger that. All right, so now we have the flatbed here, which is basically the first truck we're going to start with later. Once we get through all this. All right, we'll go ahead and drive over to the job site. Sometimes I may drive to these locations in this, and sometimes we may simply fast travel. I'm assuming if you're watching this video on the tutorial, you haven't seen it before, or if you have, you're just interested to see how I did it. Either way, the purpose of my video is to give you a more of a comfortable understanding about what's going to happen in the tutorial. And if you get stuck during the tutorial, you might be able to look back at this and see how we got through things. Talk to the man.
Old Joe wants us to pretty up his forecourt a little. I don't foresee any big problems. Joe's also been after a new sign on the motel roof for a while now, something that travelers can see clearly from the highway. As it happens, there's a hotel in town that's about to be torn down. That sly fox Joe picked up the neon sign letters cheap, and a crane operator on the construction site opposite owes me a favor. Drive by there later to pick up the letters. But first, let's take care of the forecourt. I have a roller ready for you, so get in and start compacting.
All right, so we're going to run the roller first of all over here. Now, each of the machines, as you use them, does give you a chance to customize the controls. The crane was being operated with WASD and the arrow keys. By default, of course, those can be changed around, and some keys do have multiple uses. So now that we're in the roller here, we'll go ahead and open up our contacts, turn on the roller. So now it'll be working. Now if I was to drive off of the gravel, the roller would shut off again and I'd have to turn it back on. But you can easily change all the keybinds to how you want it. And again, I think the controller settings are done very well. Now, you don't have to do all of the job in order for it to tell you you're finished. You notice you have a percentage there at 33% right now and counting. So if I was just to go do the middle and not even be very, detailed with it, it'll still give me the percentage far before I'm actually done. So I won't be getting everything all the way up against the edges. But we'll get the main part of it. Now obviously you can turn around. I kind of like going forward and reverse with these machines because I feel like that's the way you would normally do it, although I have no experience with construction machinery. So I cannot give you the real world perspective. I can tell you things that I've learned from people that do run these things for a living that I've spoke to and played the game with a little bit. A little shout out to Farmer James there for his input on how to operate the equipment. So we're at 87% right now. So we'll just go ahead and finish the sliver that's left. The next thing we're going to be doing is actually, or one of the next things is going to get the letters for the hotel, for the building. Which we'll get to in just a minute. Notice it said compacting disabled. So once you leave the area you're supposed to be doing, it will stop. So I now need to re-enable that. But it won't let me do that till we get back in the site. So you notice we have to do most of it, but it's not concerned with all the little edges and so forth. Alright, so I'm just going to pull this over here off the edge. I think it'll actually disappear. So we need to do a favor for the owner that Hape promised. And that favor is going to pick up letters for the building. It says, now drive to the Monument Hotel and get the letters so we can remount them here. So if we look on the map, we're going to be driving down here to this spot. Now we can obviously do all of that, or I can just go ahead and fast travel to the crane, but I can't. If I do that, I can't bring the truck, and these things have not been discovered yet, so unfortunately we're just going to have to drive down to those. And again, I may show you some of the drive on the way there. I may cut some of it out at some point, being that it's the first time that we drove down there. I'll probably keep that on the video, but at times when I am required to drive, there may be a cutscene in between the actual location, the start, and the destination. So, and I'm not going to follow traffic laws, so you're certainly welcome to play it the way you want to play it. I'm not so much interested in the traffic laws. Of course, there is a fuel station, which we still need to discover. We didn't discover it. I should have went in the driveway. You have to pull in the driveway in order to discover these new locations. Once you discover them, then you can start fast traveling. Now, obviously, if you don't have your traffic on low, you're going to get a good number of cars here, which I find fairly annoying. We'll try not to go off a cliff. It wouldn't be very good for YouTube content. I make no promises. I may have a name like Wheels, but that doesn't make me a good driver in these video games. But I'll do my best to behave myself. Okay, now later on we are going to need the spot down here. I'm going to bypass the GPS. I know what it just told me. But in here we have the gravel pit, which is going to become a very big part of our gameplay. I'm just going to pull in here and discover the gravel pit for future reference. And that's as far as we have to go to discover it. We'll get back on track. Sometimes the GPS does not take you the shortest route. So if you happen to go a different direction, it's no big deal. It will readjust itself. But there may be shorter, more efficient ways to go by just mapping it out on your own as well. Again, I'm not going to be playing realistic with traffic. We have another fuel station right here, which, if you'll pardon me for 1 second, we'll go ahead and unlock that as well, because we're going to be needing that too. Basically, to refuel a vehicle, when you pull up to the gas tank, you see it says T to refuel. You just hold down T until it finishes filling up the fuel, which is located, the indicator is located on the bottom right of your screen in blue. And then you can do repairs too. They're both nearly full. The repairs are in green, down on the bottom right next to your speedometer. Alright, so we didn't need to do that. I just thought I'd point out how to refuel and how to repair your vehicles until you unlock the ability to do that at your home base. Okay, so what we're going to be doing is setting up to get the letters off of that building. That's how that's going to work. So get back over here and drive up to the spot that it wants us to be at. Park the truck, and we're going to jump into the crane. Oops, I was already out. Okay, now as far as the crane goes, this is a mobile crane, which you'll be using a lot later. Just tap G and you'll be in the mobile crane, which we can then move around with WASD and the arrow keys next to your keypad. So it does tell you can open up the manual and see how to do that. I'll just go ahead and do that so we can get past it. But we'll go ahead and now we'll go ahead and bring it back. Now, shift plus the arrow will cause the letter or whatever we're carrying to turn by hitting my left shift, and the right and left arrows are what cause that. What we'll do is we'll do our best to try to line it up there. It doesn't have to be perfect. It'll line up. It'll drop into place once we get to it. Once we get close enough, it'll turn green, and then we can unload. And the E is done. All right. So we're going to jump back in the flatbed truck, and we are going to head back up to the job site, and we will go ahead and fast travel up there to save some time. And then we'll be mounting these letters on the building. So we're going to park the truck, put out the stabilizers, and we're going to use the crane on the back of the truck in order to move these letters to their spot. So we open the context menu, hit the gear icon, put the feet out on the trailer, and now the vehicle is ready to use the crane on the back, or the boom on the back of it, whatever you want to call that. All right, so we're obviously going to be spelling the word motel on here. So this thing does have a pretty good reach to it. Again, we'll hit shift and the arrow key to turn it. And then now over to where the M goes. Oops. Drop that into place. I guess maybe we'll try it in order here. if we can get the O. It's, again, just a little bit hard to line up if you're not used, when you're not used to the viewpoint switch. All right, come on. You don't want to get the O. There we go. Now we got it. And put the O into place. Now, if you want to, you can actually fold the arm back up like so. I don't know that that's the best way to go about it, but it can be done. We'll go with that one next since it's right there at our hook. All right, there we go. 2 more letters and we got this thing done. All right, and the T, swing it over here, put it where it belongs, and we're good to go. Pretty straightforward. Tutorial, I think, does a pretty decent job of teaching you the ins and outs on how everything works. So for the E will be our last letter, and we will be ready to wrap this portion up here. Okay. Like that. Extend out. Do. Oops. We'll turn it this way so it lines up in the front, although it doesn't really matter. Oh, there we go. We're pretty close. We're going to reset this then, and we're all set. Go back and return to drive mode, and we will clear the construction site, and then we will have a finished sign. Our man's standing right there waiting, Mr. Hape, and he will give us the clearance on this. So let's go ahead, jump out of the truck, speak to him, and see what's going to happen next. Where is he now? There he is. All right. Let's see, Hape. What do you got to say, sir?
Old Joe won't believe his eyes. The entryway looks better than when this place opened 30 years ago. You
Absolutely.
did an excellent job.
Of
Even
course.
the recycled neon signs are working perfectly.
Awesome.
You can finally see the motel from the highway. I'm sure it will start attracting tourists again. Do you have another minute you can spare? Then
Hey,
let's meet at
I
the
got
old
a
gas
minute,
station in
man.
town. Someone else there needs our help.
All right, guys. Well, that's the first part of the tutorial. I think right now I'm going to stop the video here. We're going to go ahead and post it as of this far into the tutorial, and we'll pick up in the next video with the second half of the tutorial and probably get through the rest of it in one video. So thanks a lot for watching. I do appreciate it. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share the video with a friend. Take the link to the video and place it on your Discords. That would be wonderful. And so other people can learn how things are done in this game. Please leave a comment if you have any questions, suggestions, or information that you'd like to share. Please make your comments constructive, and that would be a great thing. So for now, thank you for watching. We'll catch you later. Wheels out for now.